What's up, guys? So it has been exactly 1 month since we bought the TRD Pro, and we got about 2,100 miles on it. So I figured it would be a pretty good time to do my initial pros and cons. I'm going to do 5 of each, and trust me when I tell you I have a lot more pros than I do cons, but just to kind of keep this video even and a little bit on the short side, we're going to stick to just 5 each. All right, so let's do the cons first. We'll get the negative out of the way, and then we'll jump into the good stuff, and I'll tell you what I absolutely love about this truck. All right, so my first con, and these are in no particular order, guys. We're just going to do 5 of each, as I mentioned. The interior lighting on this truck, it is terrible. You only get 2 LEDs here. I'll flip the camera around and actually show you instead of just telling you. But you only get these 2 bulbs here in the front, or 2 areas, I should say. There's 2 LED chips in each one. And then in the back, you get right up there behind the moonroof, there's another set of bulbs that are basically identical to up here. Now, I get it. We have a gigantic moonroof above us, so they're kind of limited on space to where they can put interior lighting, but I just feel like they could have done something better than what they gave us. The interior lighting is not good. I'm gonna see, these aren't bulbs that you can just swap to an aftermarket bulb. They're actually the little square LED chips. All right, so stay tuned. I'm gonna see if I can get at them, which I know I can get at them, actually. You guys know me. I'm gonna have this truck torn apart, especially on the inside, but I'm gonna see if I can swap them to a brighter LED to see if it makes any kind of difference. If I can pull that off, it will for sure be a video on the channel, so stay tuned. I'll keep you guys posted, but that's definitely one of my cons. The interior lighting is terrible. Number 2, no bed step. Toyota, what were you thinking? With the design of the rear of this truck, which I'm not against, but with this design, when you pop this tailgate, if you guys have a Tundra, you already know this, there's nowhere to step to get up into that bed. You literally basically have to put your foot up there, grab onto the bed itself, and pull yourself up. That, to me, honestly, guys, with the design of the rear of this truck, I just think Toyota should have had a bed step on every one of these trucks, or something, some way. They should have given us something to get up into the bed. I actually am going to be adding a step onto the TRD Pro. I already have it ordered, just waiting to get it. But that is definitely a con on this 2022 Tundra. No bed step. Disappointed in that for sure. Next up is the moonroof, and this is actually going to be on the pros and cons list. The con about the moonroof is because it is so big, the amount of heat that comes through this thing. Now, this actually can turn into a pro in the wintertime, maybe. You know, if it's a nice sunny day, you're gonna get some heat in through there. If it's you know, you're in the dead of winter and it's 10 degrees outside. But here in the summertime, I live in Northeast PA, so it's not even like, yeah, we hit 90s, you know, upper 80s, 90s pretty regularly, but it's definitely not the warmest part of the country. Man, when it is 90 degrees and sunny, you almost have to have that sunshade closed, because the amount of heat that comes in through that sunroof is, you know, it's definitely noticeable. I absolutely love this moonroof. Again, we're going to talk about that on the pro side of things, what I do like about it, but man, the heat that comes through this thing on a hot sunny day, it is kind of brutal. You know, if you have that sunshade open, the air conditioning obviously will keep you cool enough, but you can literally feel the heat coming through that moonroof. So I had to put that on the con list, even though that's being a little nitpicky. It's definitely noticeable, so had to throw it on the con list. All right, next up on the negative side of things is the lack of storage in this truck, and I think this is something that most of us are going to agree on. There's just not much storage in this truck whatsoever. I get it, in the hybrids they had to put the battery pack somewhere, so if you don't have a hybrid, you actually do have a little bit of storage underneath your rear seat. This is clearly a TRD Pro, so it's a hybrid only. The battery packs are underneath the rear seats. All right, so you have no storage. Now, the only minimal area, if you pop the seats down, you can see I do have some bungees and some straps back here. I don't carry a whole lot, so this isn't a huge deal to me, but I can definitely see how this would be a huge con for a lot of truck guys. So, you know, again, I don't carry all that much, so for me it's not a big deal, but this absolutely had to be put on the con list. There's just not much storage anywhere. And I mean, in the bed, I'm considering getting those swing cases. I'm sure you've seen them. You could attach them on the sides of the bed and they swing out, give you some storage there. I may actually pull the trigger on them. I really kind of like them. Even in here, in the center console, you pop it up. Now, mine came with the safe, which I'm not going to lie, it takes up a lot of space. I may end up actually removing that. I don't really, you know, I do carry. So that's the only reason I'm considering keeping it. I usually do carry if I'm out and about. So I don't know, it's just even in the glove compartment here, or in the middle console, I should say, there's just not a whole lot of storage anywhere in this truck. So definitely had to put that on the con list, and I feel like that's one thing most of us are going to agree on. All right, last but not least on the con list is something small that I've noticed. And again, this is being a little nitpicky, but I really don't have a lot of negative things about this truck. I honestly don't have much that I don't like. But the last con I'm going to mention, and I'm curious to see what you guys think and if you've found the same thing. The downshifting at very slow speeds. And what I mean by that is when you're coming up to a stop sign, or, you know, in the low gears. I've noticed my shifting at that point is definitely not as smooth as other times. You know, acceleration and even downshifting, you know, when you step on it or whatever, everything is super smooth. But I feel like when I'm coming down, you know, slowing down and coming to a stop signs, pulling into the house or whatever, the downshifting isn't quite as smooth. Again, nitpicking, it's not a big deal. It doesn't concern me. It doesn't make me feel like anything is wrong, but it's noticeable enough for me to bring it up. And I also want to see if anybody else has noticed that as well. So go down below, comment on that when you're done watching the video. Let me know if you've noticed that as well. Very low gear, very low speeds, lower gears is your downshifting, you know, a little bit more jerky and not quite as smooth as the rest. So that concludes the 5 cons. I was going to try to give you a bonus con, honestly, because I'm going to give you a bonus pro, but I really don't have anything else that I don't like about this truck. Let's jump into the pros, and I'm going to tell you some of my favorite things that I've noticed after a month of owning this truck. All right, guys, let's get into the good stuff. So we're going to give you 5 pros, and I'm probably going to give you 1 or 2 bonus pros, honestly, because I have a ton that I absolutely love about this truck. My number 1 pro is the power and the torque of this TRD Pro. I absolutely love driving this truck. I've had 3 other Tundras in the past. All 3 of them were the 5.7 V8. You guys, if you've been around the channel, you're very familiar with the 2020 Platinum that we built on this channel. Toyota literally couldn't pay me to go back. And you guys know how much I loved that 2020 Platinum and how much time and sweat I put into that thing making videos for the channel. I absolutely love the feel of this TRD Pro. The power and the torque are phenomenal. You step on that gas and it just wants to go. Noticeably better than my 5.7 V8. I'm not going to say it blows it out of the water or anything crazy like that. I'm not going to sit here and talk like this will hang with a TRX or, you know, let's not get nuts, but I'm telling you, it is absolutely noticeable compared to the 5.7 V8. I would take this hands down any day of the week over my 2020 Platinum that we built. All right, number 2 pro is the camera system in this truck. I absolutely love it. So down here you can see we have the view button. I'm going to put it in gear. Well, actually, before we even do that, when it's in park, if you click on view, you'll get a 360-degree view of around the truck. All right, looks awesome. Very cool looking, gives you and I've tested this thing. It is dead on accurate as far as distances and all that good stuff. It is very, very accurate. It's just an awesome camera system. All right, and then you could also do this where it'll give you like a lower to the ground look of what's around. And again, distances are very accurate. So now if we put it in drive, put it in gear, and we do the same thing, click on view, this thing is awesome. So you have that's just a front facing camera. You have your bird's eye view over here that comes up automatically on the right. You can change it to your rear. These 2 views are awesome for when my job. A lot of times I'm parking in the city and stuff like that, and I want to try to get tucked into the curb. So what you're looking at here is there's cameras going down the left and right of the vehicle facing the front wheels. So you can tuck your wheels up against the curb. This obviously comes in handy for off-roading and stuff like that too, but even just in everyday use, I use this view and this view, which is basically the same view, but now you're looking at the rear tires. You can tuck, you know, I try to get as close to the curb as possible. A lot of places that I park, for obvious reasons, don't want anybody taking out my mirror with some of the places I have to park, and these views come in handy. I mean, I can literally nudge my tires up against the curb without worrying about hitting my rims. I mean, it's just an awesome view. Then of course you have your bed camera, and then if you come over here, whoops, If we turn that on right there, this is more meant for when you're off-roading. And so basically what you're looking at, front view, of course, and then this side and this side, these are the cameras that are underneath your side view mirrors. So you're looking down at your front wheels from underneath the side view mirrors. All right, and again, very, very accurate as far as distances and all that good stuff. If you click on this one, now your rear view, or looking backwards, and again looking at the side of each or at the down the side of each side of the truck, so you can see front rear wheel. Okay, so again, if you're rock crawling or anything like that, just comes in handy. This one, you're not really going to be able to get a good picture of, but basically the side, same thing, you're looking down the sides of the truck. This right here, if we were moving, you're going to get an image of what's underneath the front of the truck. It's awesome. I've tested it out, and maybe I'll actually try to take a little clip, and maybe I'll put it up in the corner of the screen, just a few second clips so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so you can get a view of what's actually under the front of the truck on this view. And then this is just you know, a wide angle of your rear view. Then you have your pitch and roll right here. It's just the camera system on this truck is, you know, I can't compare. I've never owned any other trucks. I've never owned any other vehicles with anything close to the camera system of this. But coming from the 2020 Platinum, it's not even comparable. The camera system in this 22 TRD Pro, I mean, it absolutely blows the old cameras out of the water that I had on the 2020 Platinum. All right, next up is the suspension. I mentioned the power and the torque already, how fun this thing is to drive, but it is also extremely comfortable, especially in this 22 TRD Pro. Obviously, it comes with its own suspension outside of what the other trims come with, but man, this thing is very, very comfortable to drive, very comfortable to ride in, handles bumps and speed bumps like a dream. The suspension on this TRD Pro is awesome. I absolutely love it. It is definitely the most comfortable Tundra I've ever ridden in, and again, it's my 4th Tundra. It's just the suspension on this 22 TRD Pro, I couldn't be happier, and that's why I'm so hesitant to do anything with it. We will be doing some messing around with it in the future, but we are going to keep it stock for a while just because I just don't want to change anything. That's how much I love it. But suspension is a huge pro on this Pro. It's just very, very comfortable to ride in, and no complaints whatsoever. All right, number 4 Pro, the moonroof. I mentioned the heating thing, which, you know, again, that's a little bit of a con for me, but I absolutely love the moonroof, the size of it, and that rear window still going down. Toyota, thank you God for leaving that option, leaving that rear window rolling down. It's literally like you almost have like a Jeep feel when you have all the windows down, the moonroof open, that rear window down. It's awesome. It literally gives you like a Jeep feel. So much airflow, and when it's a beautiful day, 70 degrees, sun shining, man, you open up all these windows, pop open that sunroof above you, and it is just, it's relaxing. Especially, we live in the country. My wife and I will just jump in the truck, go for a ride. The kids will come with us if they want, and, you know, just cruise around country roads with the windows open, sunroof open. You can't beat it. Huge. Even though that heating thing that I mentioned on the con side of things, I absolutely wouldn't get rid of this sunroof. It is awesome. And as I mentioned, that heating thing, that might actually turn into a Pro in the wintertime. So the gigantic moonroof and the rear window going down, those two together, absolutely love having those open on a beautiful day. All right, and my number 5 Pro is the interior layout. Now, this is something, you know, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. It's a subjective, you know, it's an opinionated thing. I absolutely love the layout of this truck, and not only the layout, I like the dash, I like how everything's positioned, I love the digital cluster. The 14-inch screen, in my opinion, I was a little bit nervous it was going to be too big, but it is not. I love that 14-inch screen. It's within a good reach for the driver. Some people wish it was like tilted a little bit. I actually don't. I don't think the passengers, which I know some people are going to say they don't care about the passengers, but I do. I have a wife and 2 kids. I like that it's centered and facing straight back and not angled. But even all the buttons right here, the interior layout with the cup holders, you have some little bit of storage down there. You know, if you want to set whatever, gum or anything, there's a spot down there. This, you know, okay, it's not the greatest. I do like the fact that this slides open, so if I want to grab my wallet or something, if I don't have it in the safe, instead of opening the whole thing, I just slide that open there. So I definitely like the interior layout of the truck, and I love the fact that it's blacked out on the TRD Pro. I'm not 100% sure on other trims, but as you see, we don't have to go, you know, dechroming the 22 TRD Pro. It's already got black vents. I did have to put the black cover on the chrome Toyota emblem there, but it's pretty much blacked out already with the red accents for the TRD Pro. Even over here, it's pretty much blacked out, black handles. So I definitely love the interior of this truck. There's really not much I want to do to it. So that is definitely a pro for me. All right, guys, I know we only did 5 cons, but I have to give you a bonus pro. There's actually other pros I want to mention, but we're going to keep this video, try to keep it short. I love the rear view mirror, and you might be thinking to yourself, it's a rear view, who cares? This is going to be another subjective thing. You might not care about this, but this has definitely come in handy for me. Right now, first off, it's auto dimming. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it is auto dimming. You can see the majority of the mirror has that shaded area. Again, that might not come out on the video, but I use it as a standard rear view for the most part during the day. But at nighttime, you can switch it to a camera. And a couple things with this. Number one, you get a little bit, the view is just a little bit different and wider, but it's also adjustable. And what I mean by that is if you click on this button here and go into the settings, you could adjust the brightness. You could get the camera facing more up, more down, go left, go right, tilt it. I mean, it's just completely adjustable. You can turn the auto feature on and off, the home link system, language. It's just completely adjustable. The one reason I like this camera view at nighttime is because it gives you a much better picture. It's just something you have to see for yourself and experience. But at nighttime, I always have it on this view here. In my opinion, you can just see so much better. Even though it's an auto dimming mirror on the standard view, you know, the headlights aren't that bad, but when you put it on the camera view at nighttime, it just, in my opinion, gives you a much better picture. And again, you can dim it down if it's too bright. I actually like it on its brightest option, but it's just a really cool feature. I love the fact that Toyota included that, so I just wanted to throw this in the video. You know, if you guys were wondering what that rear view was all about, if you've heard about it, that's how it works, and totally adjustable, as you saw. All right, guys, there you have it. My pros and cons after 30 days of owning the truck. I do have a bunch more pros that I wanted to mention, but like I said, we'll try to keep this video equal as far as numbers of pros and cons that we mentioned. So make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and turn on that bell. We have so much content coming out on this 22 TRD Pro, and I appreciate all the support from you guys. I'm actually, if there's anything in particular you want to see about this truck, comment down below and let me know. As I mentioned, tons of videos going to be coming out on this thing, but I am going to be doing a video on the interior features of this TRD Pro. I've seen comments in the forums that are literally just false. People saying that the Pro doesn't come with this or doesn't come with that, and it absolutely does. I'm going to save that for a future video. Again, I'm going to do a video just going over all of the features interior wise, all the buttons and all the customization you can do, all of that stuff that comes stock on the 22 Pro. If there's anything you want to see specifically, comment down below and I'll make sure I include it. All right, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my pros and cons? Do you disagree? What else do you guys like or dislike? I love hearing from you guys, good or bad. Put the comments down below, and again, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that bell. Appreciate all the support, guys. Stay tuned for the next one, and we'll see you then. Take care.